Yes, people, welcome back to the 1894 podcast. I'm Hugh, and I've got Dara here with me, as always, for this City versus Borussia Monchengladbach preview. It's the return of the Champions League, the one competition that we have struggled to progress in for many, many years now, and I have no doubt it's one that Pep Guardiola really wants to do well in this season, having gone out in such a tragic fashion last season to Lyon. It's the knockout stages now, no games, no playing around. We messed this one up. We're done. So we travelled to Budapest, isn't it, in Hungary, to take on them because the restrictions in Germany say we cannot go there. So it's a bit of an away game for both teams, really. So we kind of have a bit of an upper hand there. Obviously, there's no fans as usual, and it was the same in last season's competition. But nevertheless, Gladbach do not get to play in Germany, but we will get to play in the Etihad. So we play away first. We're going to Budapest. I'm really looking forward to it. Dara, what are your thoughts going into the game?
I mean, I sound like a broken record now. I can say we keep going in with confidence. We're 18 on the bounce now, isn't it? 18 on the bounce going
big
into
18, big 18, new record.
Yeah.
25 unbeaten actually.
25 unbeaten. Last time we went behind in the league was Spurs, which I find mental, right? So we're going into this on a high. It's Champions League, as you know, notoriously bad in it. But I mean, a lot of people, myself included, said this year's the year, and we'll have to give us performance to suggest that it is the year. So I think we'll be fine for this tie. But I mean, we'll see how it goes, won't we?
We will. But just before we talk about this particular game anymore, I just want to add to stick with us for the second half of the video where we get sort of an opposition fan view. We didn't actually manage to get a German on, but we've got the next best thing. So you have to stick around and see how that goes.
Scottish man on it.
The Blues, we've got a Scottish man. The Blues should be sky high going into this game.
Very nice.
They should be really. It's been 18 on the bounce and 25 unbeaten. We've just beaten Arsenal 1-0 in the weekend, and it looked a little bit to me like we said in a review that we were not playing in full flight. We weren't in fifth gear because we were holding back a bit for this game. So we should be going into this as fresh as can be, with as much confidence as possible, and also hungry because I think it's fair to say we've fairly dominated domestic football in recent seasons. Obviously, forgetting about last season because that was a bit of a write-off. But the seasons before that, Pep absolutely destroyed English football. And listen, I'm a big fan of winning the Premier League more than the Champions League personally. But I do think just for Pep's legacy and just for the legacy of this football club, it would be absolutely fantastic to win a Champions League. And what no better opportunity right now. We've got a good draw in Gladbach now. Two legs, one in Budapest, one in Etihad. In theory, we should win this easily enough, I think, because I'm not doing too great in the Bundesliga. There's something like sixth. We'll talk a bit about more in the second half with our friend Bruno. But what do you think on this tie? We obviously don't know a huge amount about Gladbach, but we know City are doing fantastic. Is your confidence good?
Yeah, I mean, like, my confidence is good, but ask me 10 minutes for a kickoff, be completely different. But we're like, again, going in with confidence. I think they'll have hunger for it this year because they know they can do it. They know this year they're going in with a more solid backline than the last 3 or 4 years. I mean, I've said it for the Premier League. I can't see anyone beating us. I mean, I don't want to say the same for now, but we're looking good. I'll say that we're just looking good.
The only slight I don't know, conspiracy theory maybe I have is the fact that this competition has been a mental barrier for City and Pep to get over, which they have failed to do up to now. We've had relatively easy draws in recent seasons. Obviously, other than Liverpool 3 years ago, we've had Monaco, we've had Spurs, and we've had Lyon. On paper, all the teams we've had in those seasons should have won that. But the difference again now between this team now and those teams that should have won back then is this team is actually even stronger on paper. If you look back then, we always had company injured, or we didn't have the back line we wanted, or injuries up front or midfield. We have as close as we possibly get right now as well to a fully fit squad. We've got a solid defence. I just can't see Pep switching it up the same way he did against Lyon, and he's done it against Spurs as well. I can't see him making any of these changes that he tries to throw off the opposition team with, because it's so reliable, the squad of players we have right now, and the formation, the system we play in, it's so reliable, and there's so much diversity and versatility amongst the whole squad that you should really think that we could go into this and playing exactly the way we have for the last 25 games where we've not lost, and the last 18 games that we've won the exact same way, and be confident we'll get a result in both legs.
Yeah.
What do you think?
Yeah, I agree. I mean, we're not gonna we're not going to say in confidence that he won't try switch it up, but
Please
I
God.
mean, I can't see why you would, but I would have said that last year. I would have said that the year before. Even the year we went to Anfield, he had Gundogan on the wing. It was really weird, and we went out and
It's
got
really
slapped in that
strange.
game.
Really strange.
But
We're gonna put.
I
Go
think
ahead.
I think we'll be okay. I think he'll have it in his head that look at us. Why would I change it?
We have the firepower in this squad on paper without being cocky or arrogant or anything here. We have the firepower to really destroy this team. They're not a top team. They've done really well to get where they are. And I don't want to diminish them in any way because they have done really well to get to where they are. But if we have real aspirations of winning the Champions League, we should be winning this tie with ease and marching on to the next round. And you know what? I even go as far as to say is we should thump them in Budapest. I know it's Champions League, anything can happen. But if this City team is as clinical as they should be, we should thump them in Budapest and have a bit of an easier ride in the home leg. But we're going to put our predicted starting 11 for City on screen now. And I want to talk a little bit about the attack that we're going to play. And what do you think? Do we go with the front three, a false nine, inverted wingers, a striker? What is your ideal? Just to give some light for the people looking at our starting 11.
Well, I said in the podcast, our best front four would be I don't know, Bernardo false nine, maybe in the midfield, whichever way you want to look at it. De Bruyne in front of behind him, Foden one side, Sterling the other side. But I think right. Obviously, it can be fluid as you want, but maybe the inverted could be maybe if we go inverted, have Foden on the right, Sterling on the left, it could work out tomorrow. Considering obviously Cancelo will tuck in, but Zinchenko can overlap. Cancelo can stay on the right as he does do now and again. You know, I think it'll. I think if we go Foden on the right, Sterling left, De Bruyne false nine, Bernardo behind them, I think would be fairly. I'd be happy
I'd
enough
like
with
to see
that.
Foden left, Sterling right. Just swap them around. I love right wing
Yeah,
Sterling. I think they're fantastic. But either way,
I think they're both very serviceable.
yeah,
I don't
yeah,
mind which
absolutely.
happens.
Listen, Foden was rested against Arsenal, and like we kept saying, if you watched the review of that video or the review of that game, one eye Wednesday, Foden needed to be rested. Come in absolutely fresh this game. I'll keep saying it time and time again. This team is too good to not win this game and this
I
tie with
agree.
ease. It's too
I agree.
good. Anyway, we don't want to get carried away because this could come back to look really, really bad for us. So I'll leave it there.
Look, full time Wednesday night, Man City 0, Borussia Monchengladbach 2, and we're gonna look like Egypt. So that's gonna be great.
No, that's not our real predictions, by the way. We're gonna
No.
switch over. We're gonna switch over now to the segment where we speak to someone who's done a bit of research on Borussia Mönchengladbach for us, so we and you can both get a bit of insight into how these guys play. So stick with us for that. We'll get our score predictions at the end of that as well. So yeah, stay tuned. Yes, people, welcome back to the part of the show where we get the opposition fan view. Now, we weren't able to get an actual German on. I'm sure you'll guess that when you hear Bruno's accent. But he's very kindly come on. He's done a bit of research for us on Gladbach because, to be fully honest, myself and Darren know absolutely nothing about most Bundesliga teams, and that includes Gladbach. So we thought it'd be a good idea to get someone, a friend of ours, to find out a bit about them, to speak about them. Anyway, Bruno, what did you find out about Gladbach? Tell us a bit about their form so far, I suppose, their domestic and their European.
So in the last 5 games in the Bundesliga, they've got 2 losses against Mainz and Cologne, 2 draws against Wolfsburg and Union Berlin, and they obviously won against Dortmund 4-2. They have beaten the leaders Bayern Munich, and they're currently sat 8th in the Bundesliga, 16 points behind the leaders.
You think with them sitting mid-table in the Bundesliga that it should be a pretty straightforward game for us, but you pointed out that they beat the league leaders Bayern Munich there, which is obviously a colossal win for them, and it shows that they are capable of turning up in a big game. And you know, we have a bit of experience in getting knocked out by not the traditional big teams in European football, such as Monaco and Lyon and Spurs. Dare I say it? You Spurs fans don't come at me for that. So they will come at us. It will be a tough game if they're capable of beating the likes of Bayern Munich. Dara, you want to fire away with a question or two you had there?
I was just gonna ask how is it they usually set up? Do they go a 4? Do they go a 3?
So usually I found out that Gladbach like to set up as a 4-2-3-1 with a box to box centre mid and a CDM sitting back protecting the back line. They also tried to play a 3 at the back against Mainz, but they did lose, and they also play a 4-4-2.
Yeah, we saw that when we were looking into Zakaria. We saw he can actually defend on the right side of a 4-4-2. So we were I think that's how they'll set up, to be honest. But just to try keep us out. But when it comes to key matchups, what do you think would be the most important matchup on the field?
Well, I think Mahrez will play, so I'm hoping he'll get the better of their left back, Laimer, and Sterling against Benazabaini. I think if they're just running at them at full pace, I don't think they'll be able to cope with them. If they're on top of them, then I think we should be fine. And then I'd be excited to see Foden plays for the middle, which I think he will, because I think Sterling and Mahrez will play in the wings. I'd like to see him against Zakaria or Newhouse and see how he does.
This is a great opportunity really to get a look at Zakaria, isn't it? It's a player that's been linked heavily with us since the summer, really. A lot of City fans were calling for him to come, or for City's looking to getting him, and there was also small talk about him in January. So this will be a real test for him as a player. If he wants to move on from Gladbach in the summer, whether it is to City or not, it's the games like this where he wants to show up. But you said they scored 4 goals against Dortmund, who are obviously a top Bundesliga team, and they're doing very well in Europe whenever they're there. So they obviously do pose a goal threat. So we're going to have to turn up and put out our best defence. What do you think, Bruno, is our best defence to put up against theirs? Because we've got 4 top centre halves. I know Ake is just coming back from injury. And you're a City fan as well, so I want to talk to you about them. What do you think is the best back 4 for City to go with? We've already put our predicted starting 11 on the screen, by the way. We just want to see yours.
Okay. I would just stick with what's working. I think Ederson a goal, obviously. I think Diaz and Stones, Cancel on the right, offer a bit of creativity, and Zinchenko, because I don't see a better left back at the club than Zinchenko at the moment. So I think that would be my back 4.
Yeah, I think I'd agree with you on the left back.
Do Gladbach have like a hitman in front, like the man that they look towards all the goals, like a Haaland or someone like that, or do goals come from everywhere? Because I think if it's a case where they just have one man they rely on all the goals for, you'd be pretty confident Stones and Diaz could keep them quiet. But if there's a goal threat from multiple areas in the pitch, which I'm asking you about, then that's something to consider a bit heavily. Do they have more of a goal threat than one guy, or I don't even know?
I would usually say it's down to one man, and that is Lars Stindl. He's been involved in all their goals pretty much, most of them anyway. He's definitely the top scorer with 10 goals and 5 assists in 17 starts. He's a centre attacking midfielder, but he can also play on the left. So he drifts out wide, but he can also stay in the middle. I don't know how he'll set up for the City game, but he is definitely a threat and scores quite a lot of goals.
I'm sure Pep knows all about him. If he's their main man, so 10 goals and 5 assists in 17 appearances, that's pretty good going. Playing for a team like Gladbach. How do you think Gladbach could beat us if it was to happen? Obviously, you said he scores the goals. Zakaria is the main man in midfield. If it was to happen, how do you see it happening?
Gladbach's strengths are coming back from losing positions. So, if we do go ahead, we shouldn't be getting overconfident because they have gone back from losing positions quite a lot of the time this year. But they have very good attacking set pieces. I've also realised they like scoring set pieces and corners, free kicks, as anything, and direct free kicks straight from the set piece scoring. They usually did that. So I think it'll be hitting us on the counter attack, I think, or set pieces that they're going to have to beat us.
Counter attack is something that we deal with in pretty well every game because most teams like to concede the possession and let us have all the ball and then try to pounce on the counter. So I don't think it's something that'll stun City. Is a team that is going to try counter attack pretty fast. Because I mean, Arsenal did try to do it a bit in the weekend, very unsuccessfully. Everton did it; they got a goal. But we've obviously got a fantastic defense. But I want to talk a bit about the Gladbach defense. If you know much about them, their back 4. Where can we expose them with our really prolific attack that we have right now? We're obviously scoring plenty of goals. Aside from the Arsenal game, where do you think we can expose them? Is it on the wings or down the middle?
Well, I think going down the middle or the wings, I think will probably benefit us the most because the left back and right back, they're not really top quality wing backs, but they're centre half. They've got Matthias Ginter, obviously very experienced, but not really the fastest. So I think if we get people in behind, Sterling, Mahrez, Foden, whoever's playing, we get them in behind, I think we'll succeed.
Yeah, pace is the main factor really in our team. When we're in full form, when we're in top gear, pace is the main thing. Anyway, I think we should get our score predictions now, because it's always nice to hear what we think. I'm gonna go with, as it's not in Manchester and it's not in Germany either, I'm gonna go with a 2-0 City. I think we will score. I don't think we'll concede, and then I think we'll hit them even harder. Back at the Etihad. Darren, I'm gonna come to you next, mate. What's your score prediction?
See, I was gonna say, I'll just stick with 2-0, right? Because
You're allowed to copy me if you want.
Yeah, right. I'll copy it. I'll copy it, and I go 2-0. I do think we'll dispatch them.
I think it's a fair prediction. It's 2-0. Bruno,
Yeah.
what are you saying?
I think we're going to score a bit more. I think we're going to go for 3-0.
Ooh.
3-0. That's very optimistic.
Taking risks.
Taking risks. Yeah, I think it's hard to kind of predict these games. I think because obviously Bruno actually is a City fan, and we will definitely get him on to talk about City in the future. He was just very kind in offering his service to go and look at Gladbach. But it's very hard for anyone really who doesn't watch the Bundesliga to predict these games because we don't know a huge amount about them. If you don't watch continental football, it's hard to know. But yeah, we'll wrap it up there anyway for the minute. Thanks very much, Bruno, for coming on. We really, really appreciate that. We'll leave a link to Bruno's Twitter or Instagram, whatever, in the description. Leave a like and subscribe if you're new around here. It's the channel's still growing very slowly, but it's great to see people interacting as well in the comments. Leave your thoughts on our predicted 11 in the comments, like I've already said, your score predictions, and how you think our whole Champions League run will go. So yeah, thanks very much for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.